Linking with the Pokémon Go mobile game.
I'm home.
Hey, Mom, welcome back. Catch some cool Pokémon in Pokémon Go today?
Oh, maybe just a few. Have a look.
Wow, must have been a long walk. Well, hang on, is that Froakie? Oh man, I wish I had one.
I'd give it to you if I knew how.
Just use the Pokémon Home Cloud service. You can use it to send Pokémon from Pokémon Go to other games on your Nintendo Switch system.
Oh, really?
That's right. You need to open Pokémon Go and send the Pokémon you want to trade to Pokémon Home.
Then we can use Pokémon Home to trade after you receive the Pokémon you sent from Pokémon Go.
You got it.
Alrighty, let's give it a try.
Yes, thank you, Mom.
That's it. More walks for me.
Download Pokémon Home to get started.
Hello everybody and welcome back to our little Pokemon Home project. In the first episode, we took a look at the first 4 generations of Pokemon in my Pokemon Home storage service. And today we're going to be taking a look at Gen 5 forward. I don't know if we'll cover everything. I did go over the basics in the first episode about what Pokemon Home is. We talked about how the predecessor was Pokemon Bank on the 3DS. You were able to transport your Pokemon from Bank forward to Home. It's part of Game Freak's, generational initiative where they want you to be able to keep sending your Pokemon forward in time. And I think they even mentioned something about maybe being able to pass them down to your children and grandchildren. I know that I heard something, I don't know how true it is, but I heard somebody on social media say something about how Game Freak wanted to keep Pokemon going for at least a couple of 100 years. And I thought, wow, that's ambitious and that's kind of a big deal. But with all that said, I like I said in the first episode we did, I've started my Living Dex collection from Let's Go Pikachu forward. And we looked at the first handful of boxes. Now we are moving on to Gen 5, which is Pokemon Black and White. I will say that I don't remember which generation first introduced gender differences or sex differences. I want to say it was Gen 4. Pikachu had the heart-shaped tail, all the female Pikachu. Then, of course, there was Hippopotas, had 2 different colors, and then Hippowdon. The female being completely black instead of black and brown or black and tan. So this is kind of like Hippowdon was the first like major color palette swap between the 2 sexes. Now we'll move on into our Unova set of Pokemon. Obviously we're missing the very first Unovan Pokemon. We're missing Victini. Victini was 0 in the Black and White Pokedex, which is something they had never done before. All Pokemon always started with 1. And then, of course, I was able to acquire all the starters. These starters were unavailable for a long time. What game did I get these bad boys from? Paldea. Okay, yeah, so it wasn't until Scarlet and Violet that I was able to get a hold of the last set of starters that I needed. Of course, I got my Samurai here, Hisuian. Which region? Okay, Paldea. Yeah, okay. Now, the first, outside of Victini here, that goes in front of Snivy, the first set of Pokemon that I'm missing appears to be Patrat and Watchog. I'm really hoping they make those available soon. Then we get into Pansage, Pansear, Simisage, Simisear, Panpour, Simipour. The elemental monkeys take up all these slots. Then we do pretty well going from there. You can clearly see there really aren't any gaps here. I think I've aligned all these Pokemon without having any misses or missteps. Unfezant is another one of the Pokemon that has sex differences between the two. The male unpheasant is I'm clicking A, but nothing's happening. It has this pink doodly-doo on its head, kind of like a ribbon type thing. Not sure what that is. And of course the female is a little more bland, a little more basic. And it's funny because in the avian world that tends to be the case more often than not. The male, most bird males are more colorful, more flashy, because they usually need to put on a dance or a display to attract the female. So I will also say, what year did Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu come out? 2018? Something like that, I think. So it's 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, about 6 years, 7 years, somewhere in there. Depending on what month it was in 28 when it came out, or 2018 when it came out. You'll notice that a lot of these Pokemon have not been used in battle. A lot of them have their default move sets that they had when I caught them. I just haven't had the opportunity to really use any of these Pokemon in battle yet. So a lot of their move sets are pretty basic. Let's see the next box. I did manage to get both Basculin, the red and the blue. You know, when they did the Legends Arceus, they released a lot of, oops, forgot to put myself back on. They released a lot of like Hisuian versions of the Pokemon. Obviously you saw my Typhlosion and Samurott, but of course there is the Basculin from that area to the White Stripe. But ours came from Aldea. One of the things that I've been very adamant about with my Pokemon is trying to maintain the sense of, like, I went out and I caught them and I befriended them and I'm their trainer. So one of the things I didn't do is I ended up not keeping not one single Pokemon from Let's Go, or keep saying Let's Go, Legends Arceus, because in that game you travel back in time to ancient Sinnoh, which at the time is called Hisui, and the Pokemon were caught in different Pokeballs and yada yada. So if I'm going on my own like journey in the Pokemon world nowadays, I don't want any of my Pokemon to be caught in those old Pokeballs. I think that was one of the bigger mistakes that they made with the franchise. I see a lot of Pokemon in those weird looking ancient Hisui Pokeballs, and it does kind of not gel with my, I've been saying it does not gel a lot lately. It bothers me. It bothers my special brain. Okay, now let's see. I got music going in my ear that you guys can't hear, so if you hear me humming, I forgot you guys couldn't hear that. Of course, I remember Vanillite, Vanillish, Vanillux. People were so butthurt that these Pokemon were a thing. They were no more or less silly than any of the past designs, but people were just Rossetti spaghetti, as they say. Now, I did manage to grab all the Deerling and Deer or Sawsbuck. Did the same for Frillish, both colors. Don't think there's anything else here noteworthy. Just filling in the gaps. Hisui and Braviary. Both versions of Stunfisk. And that about wraps things up for the Unova region, or Gen 5. Who comes after Meloetta? Who comes after Genesect? That's right. So on top of Celebi and Genesect, or Celebi and Deoxys, Genesect is one of the Pokemon that I'm missing, and there's no current way for me to obtain it. Then of course the first big Living Dex challenge is Vivolian or Vivian. Vivolian? I used to know how to pronounce it. I remember when I looked it up, the pronunciation is nothing like its spelling. But I did manage to get them all thanks to Pokemon Violet. I was able to get each one of the regional color variants. What you had to do is you had to save your postcards in Pokemon Go that you got from everybody across the world. And then you used that postcard to connect to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on your Switch. And then it would trigger that Vivian or Vivolion or whatever to appear in your game. So that was nice that they finally tackled that so that I could get it out of the way. Flabebe, I just had to go run around Paldea until I found each one of each color. I did manage to get them all. Nothing really spectacular to see here, just continuing our journey. You can see everyone's accounted for, except for this slot. Now, who comes after you? I think that might be the dog. What's his face? Yeah, Furfuro. I guess that one hasn't been released yet either. Yeah, I don't remember seeing that in any of the modern Switch games. All right. And of course, I got the Hisuian version of these guys. I did make sure to catch each size Pumpkaboo as well as Gourgeist. So I have all 4 of each of those. Let's see, who comes after Zygarde? Who's missing? Okay, here's where the real gaps start showing up as far as mythicals are concerned. Diancie, Hoopa, and Volcanion. And I'm kind of mad at myself because they did a Volcanion distribution last year, the year before, and I had that card, and I think I got the Pokemon but didn't keep it because I was so anti like Cherish Ball. I wanted all of my Pokemon in my collection to have been something that I caught and captured with my own 2 hands. So obviously now I'm a little more laxed on that. I need to fill in those gaps. But moving right along into Gen 7, we have... I don't think there are any gaps really in Gen 7 that I remember. I did get each of the Choreo forms. I was finally able to get my midday or my I forgot what it's called, dusk form Lycanroc. And then of course the tour moves on. Nothing special here, just everybody filling in the gaps. I did manage to catch each color, Minor or Minior, which was nice. All right, and then we just get all the way down into the Tapas, then the Ultra Beasts. It was nice. I was able to actually catch each one of the Ultra Beasts in a Beast Ball. It took me a minute to do because they were special items that were a little hard to get in Pokemon Sword and Shield. But I stayed on it till I managed. It was very important to me. I'm a Pokeball snob. Now we're missing a slot here. After Magearna, okay, I don't have Marshadow. And I don't have Zeraora. More legendaries and mythicals that I'm missing. Magearna. This Magearna was given to me through Pokemon Home for completing the national dex. I now have officially seen and captured every Pokemon in existence since the I guess since the start of Pokemon Home. it counts the Pokemon from bank. I want to say it counts the Pokemon from bank as well. I'm not sure how that works. I guess at some point I must have transferred some Pokemon forward because it kept a record of that. But yeah, this Magearna is very important to me because I worked really hard to get this Magearna. And that's where we're going to wrap things up for this video. When we come back in next time, we'll take a final look at the last few boxes of Pokemon. We need to go through Gen 7 and Gen 8. Or no, we went through Gen 7, my bad. 7 is Alola. We need to go through Gens 8 and 9 respectively, plus shinies and specials. I hope you guys are utilizing Pokemon Home for yourself. The app itself is free on the Switch and mobile. I think you have one box that you're free to use if you don't pay for the subscription. I don't know how much the subscription is a month, but annually I think it's just $15 and you get your 12 months. It comes with, I think, I want to say 200 boxes. I don't remember. Let me take a look. Okay, I just checked. There are 200 boxes. So that's a lot of Pokemon. All right. Be sure to keep an eye out for the next video. I am going to cover the mobile app as indigestion. I'm going to cover the mobile app as well as soon as we're done covering the console version here on the Switch. All right. I'll see you in the next update, folks.